Yes, I am that old. Yes, that was a real alcoholic beverage. And so is this one. Ooh. And yes, I am still not that comfortable in front of the camera. The first plant we're going to talk about today is Hoya nabawanensis. This is an easy Hoya, very easy to grow. It doesn't require any special humidity. It doesn't require any special watering or care. I have mine in a DIY pond, a self-watering pot, and it just recently bloomed and it's about to bloom again here. It took a bit to settle in. They always seem to do that when you transfer a plant from whatever it was growing into pond. But once it did, it's turned into this beautiful, beautiful plant I'm really happy to have in my collection. Sort of broad lancelet-shaped leaves with a good amount of splash. And because it's so little trouble, it's a great plant to add to your collection. The next plant I want to talk about is my Thai Constellation, Monstera deliciosa Thai Constellation. And I know people have had this for years, but it was too pricey for me, and I just decided to wait. And finally, I found a nice little plant at what I thought was a really good price, and I ordered it. And it came in a cute little 2-inch pot, and I could see some roots inside. And so I gave it 4 or 5 days to settle in, and I up-potted it from that 2-inch pot to a 4-inch pot. And that was cool, and it was doing well. It pushed out this new leaf, which is a real beauty. And when I lifted it out to look at the roots, after about 2 or 3 weeks, they were already coming out of that 4-inch pot. Okay, well, it's good. I have a 6-inch pot. I'll just up-pot it and we'll be good to go. So I moved it from a 4-inch pot to a 6-inch pot and just happened to look the other day, and this. It's coming out of this 6-inch pot after only 10 days. So I have an 8-inch, and we're going to move it to the 8-inch pot probably tomorrow. I had trouble with Monstera deliciosa. Perhaps I was not using the right kind of mix for them, but we're going to go back and address that with my other Monstera. But this has just been a grow monster in terms of the roots and a really fun addition. The next plant on the list is this beautiful little Hoya endauensis. When a plant name ends with ensis, it usually means it comes from that place. And in this case, it's the Ulu Endau River. And Ulu may mean river, so I may have just said River Endau River. My Malaysian is not really good. But it comes from the place of the Endau River. And it is just loving life. It's under artificial lights, in self-watering, which my Hoyas really seem to appreciate. It's got these beautiful, beautiful little leaves with undulate edges. And it's just been growing up a storm the last couple of weeks. There's a new growth point here and here. We're very happy with this. This is my second one. The first one I got, it was not happy. And I don't know what I didn't do correctly, but it was something. But this one, it's under artificial lights, as I said, it's in pond. It's very, very happy here, and it's a great little addition. It's a very lush plant that takes up a very small amount of space at this point, because I've said that about other Hoyas that have just gone crazy. The next plant up is something a little different. This is a Euphorbia milii. It's from Madagascar, where it's known as songo songo. And again, I don't speak the native language to Madagascar, so that's as close as I'm going to get. It's sort of a succulent, sort of not. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I love the contrast of the thick kind of, not terribly thick, but leathery leaves and the spines and these beautiful bracts. The blossom, you probably can't even see because I can't see it from here, are not these red petals. Those are bracts. They're specialized leaves. The blossom is actually sitting deep in that dead center. Now, this one has been growing and branching since I picked it up. I haven't quite figured out the watering on it yet. It's okay. I mean, my watering is okay. And it'll put out some new leaves, and then it'll drop a leaf or two, and then it'll put out some new leaves. But it's been blooming for the last month, and it just wants a lot of sun, good amount of light. It wants to be watered regularly. And that's all I know about it at this point, but I've been having fun with it. And if you're a quasi-cacti, quasi-succulent person, this might be something to try. They're very inexpensive and readily available. Lots of different colors and lots of different varieties, but I wanted this hot red one. Next one I'm talking about today is Hoya multiflora. And this is one of what are known as the thin-leafed Hoyas. It's just been so much fun since I got it. It's easy. It's very simple. It's a little prissy occasionally, but it's not like a drama queen. So you're fine with it. If you're a new Hoya person and you want something to impress your friends, I mean, okay. This plant is fine for newbies. It'll bloom early on. It'll bloom regularly from the same peduncle. Right now, there are 4 peduncles going. There's 2 here and 2 over here on this stem. It will also teach you about the trauma of growing Hoyas sometimes, because it'll put out a whole bunch of buds and then blast all but 3 of them. Or you'll get a beautiful display like this. It's easy, surprisingly easy. Unless you're one of those people that likes to keep, there's 2 things. If you're one of those people who likes to keep their Hoyas in tiny, tiny pots, this is not a plant for you. And if you're one of those people that thinks that you shouldn't water your Hoyas until the soil is absolutely dry, this one is not for you. This plant puts out a really good-sized root structure. It's very fine roots, and it wants its moisture. Thin-leafed Hoyas tend to want their moisture. So if you're willing to change how you do things, this is a good choice for you. If you're stuck in that, this Hoya is going to disappoint you a bit. So give it a try. They're inexpensive. They grow really well. I've staked mine up because otherwise it tends to spread out and space is at a premium here in the plant room. But this is definitely worth seeking out. It ships well, it travels well. And once you get it in and settled, it won't disappoint. It'll give you a few moments of, why did it blast those peduncles? But it won't disappoint. Hoya multiflora, definitely worth the try. And the last one on the list for today is this Drosera capensis. This is a carnivorous plant. And if any of you have ever struggled with fungus gnats, this is something you might want to look into. I pretty much don't have fungus gnats anymore. I grow a lot of my plants in pond, but about a third of the plants in this room are in soil. They're not all Hoyas. And this took care of that problem. Matter of fact, whenever I see the stray fungus gnat now, I'm excited because that means it's food for this guy. These are very simple. They're from the Cape region of South Africa, and what they want is sun and moisture. So my solution for that, I have this in a self-watering pot with a mix of 60% pumice and 40% cocoa peat. And I try and keep the self-watering pot topped off all the time. It's what this plant is going to want. I have it under grow lights, and it puts out these amazing leaves and these incredible blossoms. There'll be one blossom a day for, well, there's 3, 4, 5, there's probably 9 or 10, and it will keep putting out more buds. So it'll be like one a day. Matter of fact, this was open earlier today, and it's closed now. So this will be the next one to open. One a day for maybe a couple weeks. They're beautiful, simple blossoms, and this will take care of your fungus gnat problem without chemicals, without sprays, without anything else. And you get another plant to boot. So plain, simple, filtered water, no tap water, distilled. I use the water out of my dehumidifier, and it seems to be doing fine. Sunlight, moisture, and you're good to go, and you will dramatically affect your fungus gnat problem. And that's it for this week's End. I hope you enjoyed some of the new plants I brought. I hope that you join me again next week when we take a look at some more plants. I think next week we're going to do what's new in the plant room. So it'll be plants that I brought in the month of February. So join me here again next week, next Friday evening or afternoon, depending upon what time it is where you live. And in the meantime, have a good weekend.